So welcome to this video, and this video is just to really clarify what I see is going on at the moment in the world, especially with the whole coronavirus situation. And we are having to face our fears. Humanity is having to face its tendency towards fear. Because in an ideal world, we wouldn't have a tendency towards fear, we would have a tendency towards trust and faith. Faith that we are protected, faith that things will work out. But we have this tendency to fear the worst, to imagine the worst case scenario and think of all the negative things that could happen. And this has really been brought to the surface now, with everyone being told to stay in their homes. People don't like being told what to do, especially strong people and free-minded people. They don't like being restricted and having their freedom taken away from them. Because any wild animal or any living creature, when it's confined, starts to feel a bit panicky. And you've probably noticed this is what's happening in the world at the moment, that people are panicking because they feel trapped. They don't feel like they're free. They can just do what they want, go where they want. You know, human beings like to be able to feel like they can run away if they want to. And obviously that's not possible in this situation. And so all these fears are coming up in people about being imprisoned in their own homes and what might happen, and all these conspiracy theories, which of course are adding to the idea of negative scenarios coming around the corner. Things like the government agendas to basically depopulate the world and to make us sick and to install 5G outside our homes. You know, and I'm not saying all of them are untrue either. You know, I know some of these things are true. Yet it's our fear we need to focus on. Because we are required to stay in our homes, and we are required to follow the rules. And that's not a problem. It's not a problem if we follow the rules. What's a problem is if we get into the fear. If we go down these fearful pathways of thought and start panicking and start thinking of all the dark things that might happen in the future, or thinking of anything that we don't want to happen, and we start thinking it out in our mind, then what that does to our body, well, the first thing it does to our body is it makes our heart contract. Fear makes our heart contract. And it also puts adrenaline into our bloodstream. And it starts to make us behave irrationally. We start thinking about what we can do to protect ourselves, or what we can do to escape, or how can we make ourselves feel more secure. That's the reptilian brain. That's how the reptilian brain, which is, you know, ancient survival part of the brain, that's how the reptilian brain thinks. It thinks in terms of fight or flight. And obviously it's not a good thing if our heart contracts in fear. So we need to keep our hearts open. And we do this simply by trusting. Trusting that despite all the negative scenarios that we want to play over in our minds, that something much greater is orchestrating things on this planet. There is no need to fear. And it's very, very important to trust. These two choices, fear or faith, essentially are what will decide which direction we go in. If we commit ourselves to the fearful visions, the dark, pessimistic visions, then we will find ourselves feeling weak, getting sick, starting to panic more. All the negative things that we don't, all the negative aspects of our humanity that we don't want, we'll start being less patient and tolerant with the people around us. We will go into the fight or flight mentality, and we will depart from a sense of peace, a sense of trust, and a sense of love. Yet, if we have faith, if we trust God, who is orchestrating everything, if we trust that everything is going to be okay, and we trust that this is happening for a reason, then there will be no anxiety, there will be no fear. We all stay in peace. And I know it sounds crazy to stay in peace when all these negative conspiracy theories suggest to us that very bad things are going to happen. But it's the most intelligent thing you can do. Stay in peace. Because from a place of peace, you can have a higher perspective. And you can see that there is something else going on here. Something, how can I put it? Something supernatural, something divine. Something that is actually very beneficial for us, even though we may not see it. Now, I'm not going to tell you what those things are. You can use your own intelligence to see what could be the positive side of this whole experience. What could we be learning? How could we be growing? The best way to grow is to grow in faith and grow in trust that we are not at the mercy of forces, of planetary forces. We are in the hands of divine forces, or a divine force, which is God. This is a wonderful opportunity to put your faith in God and trust God, and then you will be free of fear. Then you will not be panicking, you will not be stressing out, not be imagining all the horrible scenarios that's been put in our minds by the media, by news, by TV programs and films over the years. Very negative and dark scenarios have been carefully cultivated to coincide with this scenario, that what we're going through right now. But none of it's true. What's true is what we experience when we put our faith in God, when we trust God. That is true, trust me, because I know both sides. I've seen both sides. I've seen the darkness, the conspiracy, the hell that the mind wants to imagine us going into, the earthly darkness. But I also have a very strong connection to God, and I know the vision that God has for us. And there is no darkness, there is no fear. This is an opportunity to leave behind darkness, fear, worry. Leave behind the reptilian brain completely and trust that God can do miracles. And trust that He has a plan, which He certainly does, but you won't see it until you stop fearing, stop worrying, stop looking at all the negative scenarios that the mind comes up with and that the media presents, and start trusting. Just appreciate what there is to appreciate about this situation, and trust in God. Okay, thanks for watching. Goodbye.